Yerranderie is now part of the National Parks Estate. For those of you who don't know the history, it was in fact privately owned. 1,364 acres here was privately owned by a lady by the name of Val. She had the place from 1972 through to 2012 when it became National Park Estate. She passed it on. She was going to sell it originally to Dick Smith, but she had a falling out with him and didn't like him anymore. Dick made the mistake of landing his chopper in the campground out here when the ABC was filming native wildlife out here, and needless to say everything disappeared and Val was very upset. So she refused to sell the place to him, and he also refused to pay her $15 landing fee.
Where are we going to start? Now, Arthur and David are going to act as the expert. Jan, what's the reserve on it, please?
They're a sippy cup for grown-ups.
$15.
$15 a pair.
20 over here.
25.
25 over here.
You could say something.
40.
Whoa, over here. 40. Okay. Repco donated set of steady Type-X 8.5-inch driving lights. The reserve is $240. Item number 42, Catherine. So do I have any bids from 240 plus?
250.
250. Who was that? Charles.
Because he knows you can't even buy them anywhere near that price.
That's right.
I got the place in 1972, and the place was really a wreck. It was a ruin. It was
You're
just
looking at $500 worth of lights.
uninhabitable buildings.
Look, some of that, you can put these straight in the pool.
Most of them had no floors. They had a few walls, a bit of a roof, and that was about it.
300, there we
The
go.
place was really dilapidated. What had happened was,
310
prior
going
to that,
twice.
the property had
You're
been
like a man.
owned by
Sold.
her father and L.J. Hooker. They were planning
We're
on
going to have a
reopening
barbecue. It's a,
Yerranderie because they thought the price of silver had gone up.
it was actually donated by a good friend of mine who owns a camping and...
However, all the mine shafts, except for one
Okay,
that
we
I
have a reserve
found,
on this
are all completely full of water.
$200 with an online
And they
fee
did try
from
to
the
drain
city
the
at
water out of
$280.
down the bottom down here. There's a mine down there, number 6, which is the bottom
Oh,
of
it's
the part
a
of the campground. They drained that for 6 months and they couldn't get the water to reduce by a centimetre. All the mines around here, the big ones, they're all interconnected.
360.
So you drain one, you're draining more. So that never went ahead, and that it just went into the old fella's estate, and Val got the Tonali Mining Company shares
Sold to the
plus
man.
Yerranderie when he passed on.
13 tonne.
She wanted to do
Is a
eco-tourism down here, particularly turn it into a sort of
have
an
reserve on this one,
education centre for
$175.
students and what have you.
Do I have any?
But it just,
$175.
its location being so difficult to get to was what held it back. Didn't actually come to Yerranderie. When you came down the road, you came to a spot where there was a sign saying keep left. It's about halfway into the park. That's a locality called Binduk. It's a property. And the road only went as far as Binduk and Comac Creek up there.
Same, but
And
different.
then lanes and gardeners pushed in the track when they leased, when the dam was
Starts
built. They
$145.
leased the land at the back of Jury Lands for their cattle and sheep.
Don't forget this is
And
for
they
charity,
built
guys.
a road
It's
in.
not about what you
So
need.
that's what
Find
they
a
did.
friend and give it to them.
So
as
that
a
road
present.
from there down was
Alright.
1950s or something thereabouts.
145.
But
Alright,
Yerranderie
going once,
itself
Going
was,
twice. Sold.
it's
Thank you.
always been reasonably sort of bit of cattle country around here. The story goes that Baralia, Francis Baralia, the Frenchman, he came through here in 1803. And he came, his maps are a little bit hard to read, but they reckon he came down to Tonali.
Fiona, you
And
got
I
yourself
reckon
a
he went
photo.
through Burns Gap out here.
So pair of
In
navigator
those
chairs,
days,
guys, they fold up like the
This
bag on
country
the one
wasn't
end
known
that's
as
all folded
anything.
up.
It was only
So it's 2
until
chairs.
later on that this area
Reserve
became
120 and
what they
online
known as the
bid of
peaks.
130 at present.
And some people still refer to it as that, but the peaks would take in the Twin Peaks over here and then Southern Peak as
150 up
well.
the back here.
And it was always known as the peaks up until about 1903, 1904. Yerranderie didn't get its name until 1905. Up until then, it was just known as the Peaks.
Max tracks.
The only way to get in here in those days was to come in from
Started with a reserve of 160.
Burragoon Valley,
Current have a
which as the
201.
day flies is only about 15k. You got the Yerranderie River going down that way into the Burragoon,
20 over here.
and then you got the Cox's River about 50k that way going that way into the Burragoon. And obviously that was all flooded back in 1958, 59. And then access to Yerranderie was completely cut off
300.
for that
Alright, going
until
once.
such time as they pushed that road in.
Sold, 300.
You can still get in on horseback.
Item 15, Catherine. Hold.
They were still running cattle out
Currently have
through
an online
here
bid of
up
120.
until the formation of the national park.
Any advance on 150, well done.
Cattle were
170,
I think they still shoot the cattle.
180, 190,
Then you still get the odd piece coming in.
190 twice. Sold.
Wouldn't eat them.
Right, we have a big
But
trot.
yeah, so Yerranderie
240 volt.
in those days obviously was the Peaks, and it was discovered, or all was discovered here back in 1871, and that was found by a fellow who was a surveyor, and he was and he was working with one of the Gundagara, the last king of the Gundagara, Billy Russell,
Going once.
and they found Galena out about 3 k's over that way.
We have a navigator
And when they found that, they just assumed that you're going to be finding silver as well somewhere around the spot. So they spent a long time looking for it, and they did find it. They found the silver about
$100 over here.
at Fellsworth, which is
110.
a, I don't know where it got its name from. It was never the name of the property.
Oh, 120.
And there's a number of mines over there where they started to work.
130
that was-
going twice.
Mostly test holes, looking to where the main ore was.
That's it.
And they didn't actually start really mining here until 1891. That's when it really
Item
kicked off.
22.
And they found the ore when they dug number 6 down.
It's a gone in 67s convertible.
Shelby GT
Number
500.
Ooh, there's a reserve $120 on it.
We had
125 over here.
Here's your Mustang, darling.
Sold to David. There you go, Fiona. There's your Christmas.
Yerranderie mines over
We have a
here.
whole LED
But I think
inspection lab.
after the fires in
Item number
2019, I counted
have
about
reserved
$230
$35
separate mine shafts
Anyone after
around the countryside. But that's going out 3 k's around the place. So there was no
$40
shortage
over
of
here.
them. At its heyday, Yerranderie, when it kicked off in 1892,
45 up the back.
91,
Advance.
it mined through up
Okay,
until
sold up the back. Thank you.
1930.
So next up, guys, we're going to run
And in
to a
those days it was known as Little Broken Hill,
We've got a reserve of 543 with
and
a
it
current
was actually the silver that came
online
out
of
of here
650.
was of better
Any
quality
advances
that
on
comes out of Broken Hill.
$656? Pretty well half price.
They mined through to 1930, but after that there was too much industrial strife above the ground. The miners here never went on strike. It was the blokes above the ground went on strike, and they were pulling rolling strikes, and I think it was during the, coming up with the depression and what have you.
Big one.
So the mine managers all got together and they just shut the mines that afternoon.
65 litres.
And that was it.
$100.
There was, at its peak, there was 2,500 people living here. So you had
40.
three settlements. You had, originally this was the main settlement,
150 going
the
twice.
CBD if you like. Up the top at Government Town, which became Government Town later on
160.
when they built the police station and courthouse. Over the other side on the way down to the cemetery, there was another place which has got a few huts on it, and that's all freehold land.
Reserve of $75.
And that land used to be called,
Yeah,
that
only one.
used to be called
Come on, let's move
Quigtown,
this along.
or it used to be called Newtown actually as well.
85.
But the miners had the ability to buy a block of land over there.
Sorry, I
And
apologise. Yes.
Parks sort of taken a lot of them back because a lot of the rates were never paid. Parks have got a lot of it, but they're still private land or freehold
Remember
land
there's two guys.
Yeah.
up in Government Town
Come
itself.
on, both of them.
The second settlement
You gotta
for the
give us
blokes that really
115 for each
couldn't
one.
afford to buy a block of land was between here and the Tenali, which is down on the Tenali River, which is the headwaters of, it's a creek down the bottom. It's about a kilometre down the road. It'll take it down if you go down
That's
that
item
road,
47
down the
as well.
coast. There's
Front
Causeway,
runner
that's
Wolfpack.
Item
basically
50.
where the settlement itself stopped.
Waterproof, dustproof box again.
There was outlying vegetable gardens and dairies and what have you around the place to feed the town, but I wouldn't consider them being part of town itself. I mean, Alan's a kid, he had a block of land up that way where he grew food into the town, but Donkeys is probably about a kilometre, 2 kilometres down that way.
55. Going twice.
But the height,
Oh.
well, the numbers for 2,500 was up until the First World War, 1915. Then they obviously lost a lot of blokes that wanted to go on sightseeing tour of Europe. And the numbers actually never came back to that again up until the 19. So when Val took the place over, this country by that stage, surrounding country, had all been full of properties and other outlying areas had all been taken over by the Water Board. And the Water Board had a policy that they would destroy or burn or demolish anything that was habitable. They didn't want any squatters moving into it. And there was quite a substantial number of brick buildings down here, as in quite nice homes, residents. They were completely demolished, and all you'll ever find is the foundations if you start digging. Up the top there in that campground, the only thing left up there really is the old pear tree that's now Pheasant's Nail in the middle of the campground there. And that used to be the back of Manning's place. And his place was a beautiful joint. I've seen the odd photos of that.
You can't even buy them for 7.
But all the other buildings were all just wrecked. No good for nothing.
So where are we at?
So here we've got, that's the old post office.
In this race?
The little place here is Mrs. Barnes's. That's the oldest building on the place. And that was built in 1892, and that was originally Jack Manning's, or the Manning's house. That was his original residence, and I think over the years, I think he had 1, 2, 3, I think of 3 places he had. As a boarding house, it was a little bit bigger at the back. You've got to really go around the back to see where the old building might have been. It was a little bit bigger. And the blokes, miners, could get themselves food and they could get themselves a pub. That was pretty much it. It was never a boarding house as such. It's been, it was Manning's place for a while, then it was one of the mine managers' joints, and then it became Mrs. Barnes up until when she left here in 1957. Then you got, you got Sam Meldrum's, the old tailor shop. I've seen photos of Sam. I've never seen a photo of him standing anything greater than 45 degrees. I reckon he was a town drunk.
Low rate without the water. I have reserved $162.
Down here, obviously, bank and general store. That's the old bakehouse. It's still got the old oven in the back of it. And right here, unfortunately, we demolished that about a year ago. And that was old Woodhills hardware shop. It was quite impressive in its heyday, but I have to say there was nothing left of it by the time it was all cleaned up. Fires and all the rest of it hadn't been, and termites and all that had really smashed it pretty good time. So we had to get rid of it because it was expensive. And then down Slippery Norris's cottage. The little place over here, obviously the front is still original, and the back bit of it was put in the 1970s. And then my joint down the bottom, or the caretaker's residence, Ruby Cottage, that's 1900, and that was one of Australia's first fish homes. That came out as ship's ballast.
So we got 100 with
from
Dave.
England.
I've got another 100 up the back. Okay, so going back to the people, the two
it's one
people
of
that
the
bought the
few.
fuel filters, guess what?
Pretty
Have we
interesting
got
doors
a
in
deal
that place,
for
I'm
you?
sure.
They're 25.
So they're the only buildings that are really left. Unfortunately, we had a lot of damage
Charles, do you want to do the
outside
spill on
of
the
town.
tools? There's two of the front runner
when we had
chairs here.
fires
He's
in
sitting on, bring it out in the
2009.
centre and show everyone what
So
they've got.
any old timber store, anything floors, all
So
that sort
these
of
come
stuff.
as a
was
pair,
there.
guys.
So the only thing left nowadays is a few boats. Everything else was
So we are auctioning the bag that holds the two chairs as a separate piece too, okay?
Then up the top in town, you got
And it's 2 chairs.
St. Senon's Church.
The reserve is $128. $150 from Jan.
That's not really. We use that once a year when they get the Burrowgrove residents together and we have a
170?
bit of a barbecue and a
180?
bit of morning tea and a bit of a church service.
90 for each.
That's it, like it's fine. Please.
200 for Mark.
And then the other side, where you got a lot of your camp, you got the police station and then the courthouse.
220. There you go.
Police station is used by national parks when they're doing operations out this way. For staff staying,
Shaking his head.
and the
All right,
courthouse
sold. Thank you.
is no longer used.
Now we're going to sell you the bag.
But we've got some pretty serious
Would you give us 20 bucks for the bag?
And
And they both fit in
there's a
it.
bit of an issue with
Thank you.
So that was
stability.
item number.
53, 52 and
They need
53.
to figure out or address
We've got
how they're
a
going to fix
spare
it.
room
Because
for an
it's just sitting on loose 7-stone blocks.
Okay, so we have a reserve. Reserve 550. It has an online bid of 600.
Hopefully they'll get that sorted out.
Any advances on 650? Going once,
Operations that need
going twice.
And then further on down, obviously down further,
700.
places down towards the cemetery.
720.
The cemetery itself is
750.
done, I think they put that
750 going once. 750 going twice.
in 1905.
Sold.
So I think before that,
Right, item 20,
there was
Catherine.
pretty much
We've got an Australian road atlas from Hemmer.
I went out
Go latest edition.
fires to where the
So we've
original
got a Great
mine
Desert
sites
Tractor,
were, about 3 days
And
out
we've
there.
got the where to
And there's a
camp
heap of
sign.
Road Atlas has a
father
reserve
wrote
of
it.
$22.
all around the place.
$30 over here. Going once, 45.
But that's Yerranderie itself. So
50
Parks took over the place in 2012,
Any further bids?
and
Alright, so
since
this is the
then,
Great Desert Tracks.
I think
Item
they've
number 21.
going slowly at it because nothing ever happens fast with parks. But they are getting a management plan together. They're certainly planning on keeping it open,
$80 going
and
once.
they've also spent a lot of money on the place, and you really can't see it other than the nice shiny roofs and a bit of coat of paint around the place.
Starting at
But they have put in, I think they spent
$40.
$300,000 or something just on the sewer lines and all that sort of stuff. So a lot of the work you see,
$60 going once.
you can't.
$60 going twice.
Originally, the water for town used to come from the dam just up the hill here.
Everybody's heard of Oz. It's more Oz.
So most of the time we didn't have any water in town.
140.
And then now we've got some rest in 6 in here, so we've got some tanks. So we never run out of water.
90, 95,
What else have we got?
100.
We took out over the I guess you'd say 30 odd, 38 years mining here. They took, I'm going right off memory here, it was 264 kilos of gold out.
135.
It took 306
135. 140.
1,000.
Don't go much further.
I don't know, mate, we've exceeded the retail value.
306,000 silver out, and they took the heat lead
They've
out
got a
as
set of
well.
7-inch LED
Originally what
lights
they did
again, these
is
are from
they
JAS.
We have a reserve of
didn't refine the
$172.
stuff here, they used to crush it,
$180 over here.
and then they bag it up.
180. Dave, got yourself a set of driving.
Well, they take it out 8 tonnes at a
So we've got
time.
a Red Arc
On the back
Topro
of the dray, and they
V3.
take it out
We have a
towards
reserve of $207.
the original
Any advances on 210 out there?
across the Wallenbilly.
I'm opening it up.
2 days trip.
Going once?
Some dray, we
10
bought some
to
dray.
Adrian, well done.
Yeah, we've
And
got a
then
set of Arthur's
they
Custom
would
Wave
refine it. Originally they were
versions
refining it down at
which are
Gatto.
adjustable. I I've actually got a set of these on
For whatever reason, they then
Started number
decided to
61,
refine
has
it
reserve
in
107,
a short
currently
period.
bid 135, 140 here, Tom.
And the Germans then started refining,
150
they
going
started
once.
shipping it to Germany to
160
refine
over
it.
here.
And the Germans, because it
170.
was such good quality stuff,
170 going
that the
once.
Germans would refine it on the
170 going
basis they
twice.
could keep the gold.
180.
185.
185.
Obviously, European events.
185 going
was,
once.
They decided
190.
they want the Germans getting
190
the gold.
going once.
So then they started shipping it to
200. You're out? Alright, sold.
that's
$200.
why it became economical thing to do.
These are actually from Fiona and myself, so one's a full major service on your own.
Reasons why
We have an online bid of 545.
just close it.
550.
600.
But
25.
I reckon
650. Going once.
they really didn't touch the
Twice.
sides when it comes to
Sold.
inside.
Item
things.
60 is a
There was a lot of
wheel
dirt
line,
there,
single
there was a lot of stuff taken.
$120 reserve.
An awful lot to get around. The mullah creeps themselves, every mullah creep around here, if you go, not as much as scratch. If you're a scratch through it, it's not hard.
Think you will? You got a
Because
reserve
they
on it?
only ever put the first grade ore out.
And it's a
And there has been, over
drill
time,
bag.
there's been people
Looks
sort of
like it takes
going,
lots of
let's
cans.
get business together and let's
Started
go
$0.
through the
Come
mullah
on.
creeps and
Who's after us? How much? $30. Thank you.
it's not going to happen. It's now in part, so.
30 going once. $50. Well done. $50 going once. Twice. Sold. Thank you. All right. Item 24, Catherine. Sorry. 12-month subscription membership fees to the HF Radio Club. So we have an online bid of $63. Okay. So we've got
So $100.
$100 a go. Sold. Thank you.
A lot of people think that HF has phased out. It hasn't.
Yeah, Metz Alloy Espresso maker.
So there's one at the moment that's currently at what, 200?
$212. We have an online bid for one of them. Do we have any advances on that? All right. So that's one gone. So the second one we have a $100 reserve on it.
105.
105. Well done. 110.
110. 120. 125.
125.
130.
140. Remember the first one went for $212, so we got 140 here.
150.
150. 160.
180.
180. There you go. Oh. Going once. Going twice. Sold. Right, front runner has donated a flat pack. We have a online bid of $50. Going once. 55. Going once. Going twice. Oh!
Do you want to explain exactly what it is, Charles?
Yeah, mate, it's I think a 40-something litre copper reflux still. There's copper saddles all the way through the reflux column. It's designed to be put on top of coals. Vintage, don't know how old, but very old. I've used it a lot. And comes with it is a condenser column that I built, and then the other one that came with it as well is a shotgun condenser. It plums into flowing cold water. Yep, that's the one. And it'll condense your alcohol vapor as it comes through the reflux column.
All right, $300.
All right, $300.
Yep.
Sold. Well done.